Hello everyone, my name is Heidi Ellsworth and this is MetalTalk from Metal Coffee Shop. And this is a very, very special edition because we are live at MetalForming in Peachtree City, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. From what I hear, this is the home of architectural metal. This is where it's all about. And so we're going to hear about that today. A little bit of housekeeping. This is being recorded and it will be available on demand within the next 48 hours. So be sure to share this. This is going to be information and you're going to see machines that you just don't get to see like this. Unless maybe you're at MetalCon, but we're right here in headquarters. So be sure to share that. Also, the chat is open. We have Karen Edwards on the chat. She's going to be chatting back and forth. And Megan Ellsworth, our producer, is behind the camera bringing this all to you. So ask your questions, share your comments, and we'll get those out there. So, gentlemen, hello.
Hello.
We are
hello, everyone.
So happy to be here. So let's start with some introductions. Let's start right down here. Martin, can you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do with MetalForming.
Martin König, and as you might hear, I'm not from here, I'm not from Alabama either, I'm from Germany. I'm with MetalForming for roughly 7 years now. I'm the EVP of operations, and it's been an interesting ride, yes.
Steve.
Yeah, good afternoon, Heidi. Welcome to MetalForming.
Thank you.
My name is Steve Gosk. I'm the president of MetalForming. I've been with the organization for about 2 years now.
And I was here right when you started. I remember it very well. And David.
David, yes. David Prokop. I'm the EVP handling precision sales here at MetalForming. I've been on board for just under 11 years.
Awesome. And Chad.
Last but not least, coming to you live from Peachtree City, Chad Rowe, Business Development Manager. I've been with the company for a little more than 25 years now, and you'll get to hear a few stories of how it all started, the way it was back in the old days, and we're going to bring you back all the way up into the current future of metal folding.
MetalForming, I love it. So I love that intro, and I have to say, welcome back, welcome for the first time, and for the first time, right? You haven't been on a thing before. I'm not sure, because we're bringing in all this great precision equipment. I can't wait to talk about. It's so exciting. So let's start a little bit, just to kind of let everyone know out there, who is MetalForming LLC? So Steve, can you start us off with a little bit of history about the company?
Sure. So back 25 plus years ago, Jeff Stone, the founder of the organization, really set out to introduce technology and innovation to solve the issues in the architectural fabrication space. And he did that by bringing in metal folding technology between two primary lines at that time, Jorns and Schechtl, which are premier lines within the industry. And really, at that point, metal folding wasn't a very, very well-known technology here in the United States market. So with those two lines, brought those technologies to the market, introduced customers on how it could solve their problems, help them do their business better, and over time added additional lines that were synergistic in the space, both in coil processing as well as roll forming. To make up essentially what MetalForming is today, which customers now can come to us as one partner that can solve their issues and needs and act as that provider for them as well as their support.
You know, to me, it's amazing because this is really a situation of seeing a need and understanding the market and going after it. And Chad, you were almost here exactly when that happened.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately, he looked a little bit different than he does today. Yeah, I started my journey with MetalForming as a service technician, specifically on the high precision folders, and at that time that was a company called Fosti. Fosti is now part of the Schröder group, but that's how it all started, and I spent a number of years in the service department, really working with Schechtl and with Jorns. One of my first early trips was to go with a Schechtl service technician. We traveled out to the West Coast. I spent a whole week with this German Schechtl technician, and about the total of his English was yes and no. So it was a great trip. That was, kind of my opening to the whole Schechtl product lines. But it really has been quite a journey through the industry and how the industry has really changed over the last 25 years. There was, the early adaptation of graphic programming from the Schechtl folding machines, sketch and draw from the Jorns machines. If I go way back into the archives, as the stories go, the company was given basically on loan 2 Jorns machines and said, hey, if you like them, try them for 3 months. If you like them, then pay me later. And then I want you to order some more. Fortunately for MetalForming's case, that all worked out well. The Jorns product being from Switzerland has been a mainstay in the long folding business, as well as a key partner to MetalForming.
Yeah. And we're going to walk around and we're going to see all these machines, but it's, to me, so amazing having been here a number of years ago and working with MetalForming for many years to see the growth. But David, it's been really fun to really start learning about your side of the world. And can you talk a little bit about that and MetalForming about precision?
So I started here with MetalForming 11 years ago this November, and came on board primarily to bring the precision sector to the MetalForming world. It had wholly focused in on the architectural side, as Chad was talking about, but as folders became more and more commonplace, their reach into the industry became deeper and deeper and deeper. So because MetalForming was such an expert in folding technology, it simply made sense to take that to the next level and be able to bring over a product, and Schröder was the product that we started out with, to introduce the entire North American continent to this high level of precision folding technology. Yeah. And frankly, what was kind of interesting, which happened over the years, Chad talked about how the ramp up and growth into the technology and everything with the products that was brought into MetalForming. The adoption of precision folding in the architectural industry has been phenomenal over the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, total growth.
Those two industries are coming together at such an interesting crossover point at a time where labor is hard to find, right? I always say the labor pool is very quickly evaporating, and it is, if it's not a dry lake bed in your area. So that combination between those two industries, Schröder just fit that bill perfectly.
And brought it all together.
So many different levels, absolutely.
Yeah, there's also another key component to that in the industry, there's becoming a much larger shift where people want to go to a single source for all of their goods. So as that general contractor, more and more people are being asked, okay, so you're going to put the walls up in metal, or you're going to just do the cap flashing, you're going to do the gutters. Well, can you do this? And can you do this? So as that need for a true total envelope contractor, you can still come to MetalForming and we can still meet all of your needs with those different capacities. That's really where that Schröder product comes into play into that architectural market, and where that overlap is really starting to take off.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody still has their own little sector. Some people choose that they don't want to get into that world. That's fine as well. But that's really where that Schröder precision folding comes into play, and that MetalForming is here for all of you.
Well, and that's one of the unique advantages that MetalForming has as an import company, is we're able to go around Europe, which is primarily where these high-tech fabricating machine tools come from, and bring in the best products out there. We're not beholden to a Schröder or a Schechtl or a Jorns or to a Stolarczyk. We can hunt out whatever the industry is looking for and find that technology that isn't here yet and bring it in and make it part of everything else that we're doing here. Our service, our support, preventative maintenance, service level agreements, right? And we can bring that one trusted partner relationship back out to the field and directly work with those customers to find those solutions that they need today.
Right. And I want to, just because for our audience out there and for everyone listening, when we're talking about precision, we're talking about everything. I mean, you probably could reach out and touch something right now. It might be your refrigerator door. It might be something on your tractor, on your lawnmower. It could be anything in metal that is being made. It's surrounded all the time. So it's exciting to see what is happening in metal beyond the building, beyond construction. But Martin, just real quick, I wanted to also service maintenance and really that preventative care has just blown up, and that's really your specialty, refurbish. Talk a little bit about the history of bringing that in and the demand.
So the automation as it is right now, like, keeps us on the toes, and then training, and then sending our technicians to Europe and getting them trained up. The refurbishment, I don't know if Chad, like how that came to life a few years ago. What really was a game changer for us was the new control that came in by Schechtl, was introduced hopefully next year. Yeah, Chad, if you want to touch on how that came into the market and what.
Yeah, sure. So the refurbishing business has always been a great value add to metal forming, and again, it's another way to meet a customer's demands. If I'm starting in a new company and I have X amount of dollars to spend, I need to cover a lot of things into that little small pile of money that I have. So getting into that market space with a refurbished folder, but using the same control system that's being put onto our newest models of machines gives you a great advantage and a wonderful starting point. We'll take a look at the Schechtl machines and that control a little bit later.
Well, and that's such a big point, though, on the refurbishment side is, in order to take a 20 or a 25-year-old machine and refurbish it, it has to have a base structure initially that's able to be refurbished, right? And that's one of the key selling points behind the Schechtls, is the structure of the machine itself is so rock solid that it's never the machine that requires it to be refurbished. It's electronics that can't get, that aren't able to get replacements for sometimes. It's a newer control system a customer wants. Right. The base structure of that machine is absolutely rock solid.
Yeah.
And Schechtl offers a lifetime warranty on that frame as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's
it
a
makes
big
sense.
thing. Yeah, we are sanding that thing down all the way to the bones. We put some anti-corrosion solution on it too before we repaint it and prime it and all that stuff.
Well, and I have to tell you, on the coffee shop classifieds, we see machinery coming through all the time. And so it's something that is in high demand and that they want. I do want to talk a little bit about the overall metal forming market, kind of where it all started. I know Metal Forming LLC was at the very beginnings of it, but Chad, let's just start with you just real quick on just the history of when metal forming really started gaining traction in the U.S. It's been in Europe forever, but when did it really come into the U.S.?
So you said some key words there, Heidi. And people that know me, you said real quick. Yeah. People that know me and have been around me a little bit, I don't have any answer that's real quick. So the metal folding technology really came to the U.S. in the early 80s. And that was through a company called Roper Whitney. The parent product came from a company called Gutenets. So that technology, this poor lowly sales guy who was beating on doors and trying to convince people that folding technology was the greatest thing and it's going to change the whole world, and that press brakes were bad. Well, press brakes have been in the marketplace how long, David?
Very, very long.
In the industry for a lot longer than the folding technology. So it was an uphill battle. But there are always forward-thinking people, right? And to find these people and to make sure that it's the right fit. So that's really how the CNC folding technology came to the United States. And then from that, it's just really kind of grown, where there's been a need for different products, such as a long folder versus a short folder. There's been a need for shearing applications. There's been a need for coil processing. So just as the need and the demand, once that technology was proven, then everybody said, okay, it's okay. I can buy this European solution.
And it really changed the industry.
It really did.
The industry.
Yeah.
It really did change the industry. I will say, some people do have concerns about that German-made machine, that it's, it's a Mercedes. Oh, it's a BMW. It's going to be really expensive. It's going to have a long service time. Martin, Steve, how do we counter, what do we tell our customers, how at MetalForming, we're prepared to help you?
Yeah, my mind, two things come right off the top. First and foremost, the machines themselves are built like the proverbial brick
House.
and they last, for 20 plus years. And so as these purchasers look at this major acquisition on their behalf, and we certainly respect that because of the money involved, they also have to consider the lifetime this machine is going to run and all the benefit they'll receive over that lifetime for that particular machine. Also knowing that from the support side, we're here to support that machine throughout its lifetime, whatever version that machine might be and however old to new. One of the things as MetalForming has grown over the years, and we've got more and more machines out in the market, I'd say to any customer, even if you don't buy another machine from us new, you need to know and have a relationship with us because we need to be there to support the machine that's there today. And it is simply the adage that goes around quite a bit, but sales may get the first order, the service support's going to get the next order, and that's why we put the focus that we do with Martin's team, the investment into the team, both in people, but also skill sets and technology, along with agreements and things like that to help the customer make that good choice on how they want that machine supported.
When we really look at the history of where MetalForming has been and where we're at today, I do want to talk because next step, we're going to go check out all the machines. But I want to talk just real quick about the technology. And David, earlier, I was so lucky to be able to watch some of the machines as you were bending, and Kurt. Can you talk a little bit about what you're seeing with what's the next step? What's coming with metal fabrication, and especially around technology?
So the biggest things right now that's really being driven by the market, right, is more automation. The requirement to create an enormous amount of product with as little labor input as you can possibly put into it. I've said this, I'll say it again, there's a labor issue out there. And you're not suddenly going to get a generation of kids that wake up and say, "God darn it, I want to go bend metal." It's not going to happen. So customers are making the decisions that for them to be able to continue to grow and to advance what their business levels and desires are, they have to bring in higher levels of automation. They have to bring in a machine that can do the work of two people twice as fast. But in also doing that, they also have to bring in a machine that's incredibly safe. Because operators are being put on it that don't have 10, 15, 5 years of training. Sometimes this operator has been trained for 2 hours and he's put in front of a machine. They have to be able to safely operate that product and kick product out at a very, very high rate and at a high level of precision and efficiency. So the technology that is taking the experience into the machine itself to automate the bending sequence, to automate the manipulation, to minimize the strokes and opens while parts are being made, all while giving a interface to the operator, telling them what they need to do next, what pedal do they need to press, how the part needs to be held, where it needs to be, and protecting them from getting in harm's way.
Yeah.
That's where technology is going. And the more advanced technology, from full automation all the way down to someone standing in front of a machine that minimizes that operator interface with the process, that's where it's at.
That's right.
You don't have a choice. I mean, if you don't do that, what are you going to do?
Right.
Right. I mean, where do you go?
I mean, and what we're seeing, what we see at the shows, we'll see here, or what we've been seeing here today, is just the safety, the production, the technology coming into it. I think people kind of, when you look at the monitors, everything that's going on there, it's pretty intense. And the safety guards of not letting people into the right places to cause problems. Martin, I would love you to talk a little bit, when we talk about all this technology and we talk about everything that's going on, this is a high level of service. It's that you need experienced technicians, you need people who really know it. You have, really worked out there.
A whole lot of bench strength, especially in our service team. A lot of people that started back then with Chad 20, 25 years ago.
My hands are clean now.
You're
not dirty.
Ground zero.
For example, our control engineer, John Parker, has been with us for 20 years. Started back then in the Murph over 20 years.
Murph has been in the industry close to 30. He's got close to 30.
He was working at Ross before, I think, many years ago. So there's a lot of experience, a lot of bench strength, a lot of the training that they get and the ongoing training and the synergies of the different vendors and the different people working together. It's a huge bench strength that we developed in our service gang.
Well, and one of the big reasons why that is so critically important is a lot of these companies are getting these more automated products.
Right.
And they don't necessarily have the preventative maintenance department. They don't have the crews trained up. They don't have any of that. So a lot of these companies hand us the responsibility, which we're happy to do for them, to take care of this machine to make sure it produces. If you've got a machine that's running 3, 4, 5 hours a day and it goes down, you lose 3, 4, 5 hours a day. You have a machine that's producing 18 hours a day and its output is multiple machine tool output levels, right? Operators, that can't go down.
Right.
That can't afford to go down.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you take your car to the mechanic to get the oil changed at a certain interval?
Yep.
Why is a machine tool any different? It's not.
Yep.
Well, I was just going to
You gotta
say,
protect your investment.
this audience out there
be
understands service and
stranded on the
maintenance. That's for sure.
And I tell you what, like everybody in MetalForming understands the machine down and the urgency. So that's something that we have dashboards in our Dynamics 365 that we constantly watch, and we try to move mountains if we have to, if a machine is down.
Well, gentlemen, it is that time. So we are going to be taking you all on a tour of all of the machinery and what they do. So this is something I think is critical for new hires as you're looking at your end of year purchases, as you're looking at things to really understand the types of machinery, the type of technology that's out there. So we're going to take a little bit of a tour, shall we?
Let's go.
Let's go. So we are going to start over here with Chad. The microphone.
The table mic.
There we go.
Bear with us.
Bear
we
with
have a lot
us.
of moving parts and people.
We are live here at MetalForming, and this is so exciting. So we are now heading over here to the machines. And remember, right now the chat is open. So as you see these machines, as you see the technology that we're going to be talking about, do not hesitate to ask questions. Karen is on there and she's doing the chat. Megan's seeing the chat and she'll yell out some questions as you have them. So Chad, start us away.
All right. So here in this corner of our demo floor, and our demo floor is commonly reconfigured. I have been saying for years and years, we're going to put this machine in here and it's not leaving. But unfortunately, customers have demands, and we're going to do what we can and do our best to meet those customer demands. So our demo floor layout, patterns, things are always changing. But right now in this corner, we're going to spend a little time talking about the Schlebach product line. Schlebach offers a wide variety of roll forming, notching, and commonly shearing slitting profiles. And then of course they have a lot of different accessories such as curving machines. We're going to see one here in just a moment. Seaming machines. Schlebach offers, to my knowledge, the only seaming machine in the industry that's capable of doing both straight and curved roofs. That's called the Spider. If you can imagine that spider climbing up your roof. If you haven't seen one, the previous generation was called the Piccolo, built like a tank, but a lot of them took dives off of roofs. They really did. So with this Schlebach technology, here I'm standing in front of the Schlebach Quadro. This Quadro has been a revolutionary product to the industry. Did a couple things in the marketplace and into the industry. There was a stigma around portable roll forming that it could not produce a factory quality panel. And if you did have that portable roll former, it was really difficult to change those profiles. So one of those key things that Schlebach really did was went and we did, MetalForming did a lot of testing to validate the fact that you could get a factory quality panel from a portable roll forming system. And oh, by the way, then we solved the time constraints and the difficulty of changing a profile. So with the Schlebach Quadro unique rotating cassette design, all we simply do is unlock our cassette And on this, I have two different profiles, one on each side. And now all I do is I drop my central drive gear, I look at my arrows, and I can rotate that cassette, bring my drive gear back up, lock the cassette, back in. I do the same thing on the other side. So truly changing a profile can take about 2 minutes.
And this is all portable?
This is all portable.
Portable. So you're
It's all
talking
portable, on a trailer,
roofing,
powered by a generator. Pick the whole trailer up and run your panels directly up onto your roof.
I love it.
So
I love it.
profiles, what's the hot topic right now? Board and batten. Everybody's talking about board and batten. Yes, we do offer board and batten. We also offer a soffit, a flush wall. And then we offer your standard standing seam roofing profiles. This is the Schlebach Quadro. We offer this in 3 different main configurations. The highest level is called the FLX. And that machine is designed specifically for all of your custom roll forming needs. So if we don't have a standard product, feel free to still call us. Give us a shot at it. We do have customized roll formers available. So sliding over, here's our 1.5" curving machine. There have been several over the years that have been introduced into the market space. And this is kind of the last man standing, simply because it works. It works. It's curving panels. If you've ever curved a panel, or if you've ever tried to, I spent my first probably 6, 7 years here doing everything I could to get away from this machine. Give me the $1 million highest precision, most
Technology.
Thank you.
There you go.
I don't know, a sophisticated machine. And I would run away from this. But it too has evolved over the years. And a couple of real basic changes, things that seemed real kind of natural have occurred. So this is the 1.5" curving machine. These are only for standing seam or a mechanical lock. We also offer this in a 2-inch version as well.
And only standing seam?
Only mechanical lock standing
Okay.
seam. Yeah, only
Very cool.
mechanical lock standing seam. Let's talk
Okay.
a little bit about the Schlebach Slasher. This is the tool or the piece I alluded to earlier that we talked a little bit about the Jorns long folding machines. And with that long folding machine, you really needed an affordable solution to process from coil. So this Schlebach Slasher, try saying that 3 times fast, was introduced into the marketplace in approximately 1999, and it was offered for under $30,000. So really changed who could process coil. It really gave people an opportunity if they wanted to start their own business, or if they wanted to start their own manufacturing and get away from purchasing all of those needed components, so the Slasher has been kind of that mainstay. It's still with us today because people still need a starting point. So for your basic coal processing needs, we have the Schlebach Slasher.
So basic coil processing needs.
Basic coal
What
processing
kind of
needs.
products are going to come out of this?
Oh, so with this machine, we're able to start with a very large, commonly up to 10,000 pound coil. And we're going to take that coil and we're going to feed it through this machine, and we're either going to make blanks or flat sheets for people to use and cut to the proper length.
Right.
That could be resold, they could be taken over to their shear and cut to the proper width. Or we can actually set the slitting knives to slit to the right width and cut to the right length. So I can take that finished trim piece right to my long folder.
Excellent.
Ready to process. So that's kind of a brief overview of the Schlebach product line. Staying in that same coil processing needs, we're going to move up to that next level of need. We've talked about technology and who can use this and who should use it. So here we have the Krasser Optima, Heidi, and this system is the semi-automatic solution for coil processing. I'm going to go ahead and open this hood just a little bit here. throwing Megan a curve. We didn't do this, so hopefully it looks okay. If not, I'll close the lid back down. But inside this is that technology coming from automating an automotive factory. That's where this product originated from, and that the mindset, the builders of this solution. Again, as that technology need came about, there was a big need for automated knife positioning systems, downloading complete daily job lists into a control system, and just let this machine run. So this is the semi-automated version. We also offer his big brother, the Centurio, that can be mirrored or mated to a fully automated coil warehouse system. So, fully automated coil warehouse system plus automated coil processing, slitting to width, cutting to length. We're able to, again, provide you with solutions that start from the very the intermediate levels, and then to complete full automation.
Which is where we are going next.
All right.
This is so cool. So we are actually going to go over and
Turn the other way.
to
Follow
these
me.
machines.
Here
We're
we
going
go.
to come
We're going this
over
way.
and see
We're going
David.
this way.
There we go. So, okay, we
This
just
is
jumped
next.
up a little bit bigger. So what do we have going here?
So now that Chad has gone over the blank production or the roll forming, if that's what you're going to make it, if you got a blank, you got to do something with it.
Right.
You got to bend it, right? That's usually what happens. So this, for me, is one of the most exciting products architecturally that we deal with. It is an incredibly sophisticated machine. This is a small little 13.5-foot folder we keep on our demo floor. It's easier to move around as we need to when we're bringing other machines in. But it is a bidirectional long folder. We'll make this all the way out to 60 feet in length. We simply continue to add C-frames right along the length. This is a 16-gauge machine. What's unique about it, though, is Jorns follows the premise of we need to help lead that industry in terms of what their requirements are and meet the industry needs, right?
Yes.
Not trail behind it 2 or 3 years. So a lot of people will buy these long folders to make trim. But panel manufacturing, vertical wall panels, horizontal panels, tapered panels, telescoping panels, right? All these different profiles that these high-end architectural design people are coming up with that no one can figure out how to make.
This is it,
This
right
is how
here.
you make it, right?
Well,
A very interesting and unique spread of fingers, each one completely independently controlled, vacuum cups, grippers, stops. There's not much you can't put through here.
I love it. We saw it earlier.
Yes.
Some things going through. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal. And when you look at the size now, one thing is this is not a normal size
This
machine.
is not. This is a little tiny one.
Okay, so what's normal for this?
Normal's 21 or 26 foot. Probably what, 90% or 21 foot?
Yeah.
1 to 26 foot.
Yep.
Sorry, everybody,
Come on in, Chad.
the camera's grabbing me. So I think what we consider normal, the industry really started out with, again, long folding servicing a certain market space. That market space traditionally was in that steel building market space. And then over time, again, as more and more contractors were being asked to do more so that they are a single point source, the long folding business really has evolved as well.
Gone mainstream.
It
Yeah.
really has. So this is that 13-foot version, but it's quite common where people are still only making 10-foot parts on this type of a machine. But maybe they're interested in a 32-foot long machine so they can make 3 pieces at one time. Again, that's that efficiency. Well, how do I load 3 pieces? How do I minimize my manpower? And right over here, David's pointing to the solution of an automated side in feed.
This gains you an enormous amount of flexibility while the operator is unloading finished parts, this immediately can start loading in up to 3 or 4 different blank lengths to fill that machine's length. So while those finished parts are being taken care of, this is already in play and starting to bend the next grouping of products that you need to kick out.
The thing I love about this is that this is really where architectural, construction,
Yes.
and precision manufacturing, everything is meeting, is in this
Where they
machine.
coalesce, yep.
And so it really all comes together, and it's kind of exciting when you think about this handles so many different challenges.
Yeah.
Well, and the other interesting factor from a growth stance, right, adding the side infeed, which you can put on at any time. You don't have to buy it with the machine. You can let this grow as your needs do, is we also have the ability to run this in a fully automated mode with the Jorns profile manipulator, where it sits over the top and it completely handles the part, including reinserting them for closing hems if the hem has to be closed with the part on the exterior of the machine. It's not just a flipping device, it is a manipulating device.
Wow.
So we can go from a standalone machine with some features and capabilities that aid the operator in quickly loading and unloading, to automating the in-feed, to a completely automated solution that we can add really and grow into with the customer at any time their needs, demand it.
It's about growth.
Get what you need today.
Yep.
But one of those key things that Jorns is on a second generation, more than a 50-year-old company, and the son is now running the company. And different than here in the U.S., he actually grew up in an apartment attached to the factory. So he has literally lived this whole machine world. So it is his life. Whether he likes it or not, it is his life. No, he really enjoys it.
Yeah.
And we appreciate all the tools that he's giving us to offer to you out in the market space. It's really grown with that.
And the last thing to note real quick, this is a fairly short machine in length. It's also a thin machine in capacity, because we also make these in a 2mm or a 14-gauge machine and up to an 11-gauge machine.
Wow.
Right, that we have a number of making purlins in fully automated, installations. So this is more than just a thin gauge roofing style machine.
You're truly forming all types of
You
metal.
are forming all types of metal in a number of different industries.
Everything. Okay.
Heidi, we can stand here and talk.
I know.
day long.
That's why you look at me. I'm like, let's go to the next one.
Okay.
We're gonna
let you go
Megan
that way
is. We're bringing our camera with us. You're getting to see the shop overall. And remember, any questions on these machines or on the questions, please put them into the chat. We want to hear, and we will do our best. What do we have here,
So
Chad?
as we're working our way around the demo floor, and hopefully you can see through what we're portraying here, is MetalForming truly is your one-stop shop, your partner for whatever your needs are today and for tomorrow. Here we're looking at it's not a first in the industry. Okay, coil processing has been around, recoiling has been around, but at a certain level, it becomes not affordable to get certain capacities and features. The Stolarczyk company has really put together a beautiful product. Here we're able to recoil up to 150 feet a minute with certain nice to have features. Quick change felt pads for your braking system. This is a first in the industry at this price point level. We have digital displays. We have rotary cutoff shears, so I don't have to fully rethread the system. If you're not familiar with this, you'll notice as we're walking down how long of the system can be. And if I have to start from the very beginning to get to the end, every single time, I'm using a lot of time. So this system is designed to save you those minutes and put it back into coil processing and adding value to what you're trying to create. So here's our coil cart. This is for removing our newly wound coils. We're just gonna kind of slide on down as we're looking at our safety steps so that we can safely operate. Here's our control panel. Something, small little things that you're gonna find. Here's my cabinet that my gauges are hidden inside. So they're protected. They're protected, right? What's that first thing that gets broken? Well, the most fragile piece, right? So it's inside a little cabinet. All of these things, watch your step here.
Yep.
All of these little things bring value to what you're doing. This is a collapsible pneumatic folding table. This table, when I'm threading and loading the system, extends all the way up into the braking system. Why is this here? Again, for efficiency and speed of threading that system. We're going to save you time of doing nothing so that you can add value to your coils. The next key component as we're walking down, here we've got our stacking table, standard in 13-foot length, capable of what length do you want. And this is all electrically powered system capable of handling up to 4,400 pounds. Yeah, everybody, did you guys catch that? Yes, I
we were watching you.
Stepped
Don't
on
worry.
the rail that I told Heidi to watch out for. 4,400 pounds, automated system. Here, I'm going to try to spin around. This is a sensing system so that the table automatically lowers as my stack gets taller. Adjustable stops for my sides. Something unique about this table is what I'm stepping on is this track. And this table is actually, can be brought in, moved into the system or brought out of the system. Again, so that I have a safe operating or a loading and unloading area to take my finished goods away from the system.
And Chad,
Yeah.
just real quick, this kind of machinery with what you're talking about and the coil coming down here, this is going into a very large manufacturing sheet metal shop.
It can go into a very large shop, but what this system has done, so this particular coil processing system and is really designed to meet your needs, and it can be set up very modular as well. So here we're standing in front of the slit to width, cut to length piece of this system. It's got some unique features. It's got a 3-roll rotating film application, shaft diameters of 8 inches with massive slitting knives, ejector rings so that I can do small strips down to 3 inches.
Wow.
So I don't have to have all of these pieces, but this system really is primarily intended for people who want to process coil to make blanks or flats, and they're gonna run a whole pallet full and sell those to somebody, or they're gonna start with a master coil and they're gonna slit that coil down into standing seam size coils, or whatever your needs are. 6-inch strips, 3-inch strips. All of this can be rewound with this system. So again, very modular. Get what you need today, add what you need tomorrow.
That's great.
And here's our power decoiler. I do just real quickly, excuse me. MetalForming offers kind of an array of non-powered and powered decoilers. Starting at a small 1-ton portable manual decoiler, moving up to a 3-ton, a 5-ton. This here, what we're looking at here is a 5-ton powered decoiler. Unique feature on this, we actually have coil diameter sensing so that the system knows, being an all-electric driven powered decoiler, the system is actually using different ramps based on the size of the coil. All of these things go into that smooth, continuous operation. Again, if this is 5-ton, we offer these up to 12-ton capacity.
Wow.
Single head, dual head, with a coil cart, without the coil cart. A lot of options.
So you
for
can
whatever
really,
your needs.
across the board, all types of companies.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, so now we have our flats, we have our cutter, we've done all
Yes.
that. So,
Questions.
okay, yes.
Is that okay?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay, first question. What is the cost of the 21-foot Jorns bender?
So that's a great question, and that's really a difficult question to answer. If we're talking about the double folding up and down, we're going to start about $520,000, and then based on how you need that configured determines really where that landing point is for that system. In the old adage, right? Anything is possible, it just takes money. But a common configuration, I would say, today's marketplace, people are landing somewhere between 580 and 680. is kind of a common space for a 16 gauge 21 foot. So was that Jorns specific? Yes. And was that question for double bending? If I don't know if there's
Jorns bender.
Okay. So we also offer that same 21 foot machine in an up only version. Then those start about 200,000. So depends on what your needs are.
It's really about understanding people's goals and what they need for the business. Another
Absolutely.
question.
The other one is all metal considered class 4 for insurance companies, or is it the machines that run bend coil?
Yeah, so that question
Great question.
really belongs to the coil supplier or manufacturer. At MetalForming, we're not selling coil or metal, so we shouldn't answer that question. I would direct you to your coil supplier then to handle that question.
That's a great question. Oh, that's something we will put into our records to see if we can get some further education on that. So that's a great question. We'll follow up on that.
We can. No, I'm not going to.
Because we're going to move on because we don't want to be too late.
We got to
So
get to machines.
what we were saying is we have flats. Now what are we going to do with them, David?
We're going to bend them some more.
Yes. Show us this cool machine. Please tell us about it.
So the Power Bend Multi is one of the the newest entrees from Schröder Group into that architectural / precision crossover area. It's unique because it has really taken a lot of the construction and engineering attributes that you typically see in the real big folders, such as a ball screw driven clamping beam that we can control to within 4 decimal points, but they've configured it to fit the architectural industry, right? Such as the F shape or free shape geometry for doing any sort of slope roof drip edges, a rotating clamping beam that we can put various height tools on it. But the machine is so much more than that. We have a multi-stage rotating clamping beam that gives us the ability to swing this out of the way and hem with our folding beam.
Ah, nice.
Which means on a 14 gauge 10 foot machine, we can close hem, 14 gauge mild steel.
And we saw that today.
You saw that today.
It was very impressive.
And when you're doing a drip edge or something like that, where typically you have to helicopter the part, reinsert it to close the hem, you don't have to do that on this. So it's taking an existing, very well known and understood feature, the rotating clamping beam, but advancing it to a level that only a company that has the control capabilities and the drive capabilities as Schröder can do.
In fact, this is one of the things that we saw earlier that, sorry, just for my technology geeky heart, what we saw with this interface and how it helped with driving and bending and everything that was doing.
It tells you what to do.
Phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
It steps the operator through every single, anyone here could step, we should have had you run a part.
We should have, there we go. Maybe we'll do that later on.
We should do that later on. But anyone here truly, if you can look at this and understand which one of the 2 pedals to hit, and put the part where it shows you to put the part, you can run the part.
You can do it.
It's that simple.
Wow. So this is the kind of things, and we do have some footage on this, so be sure to watch on Metal Coffee Shop because you're going to see a lot of this coming your way within the next couple months. Shall we move on?
Well, hopefully you're not tired of me yet. My talking time is almost up. We're going to go take a look at really one of the early pieces from MetalForming, and this is the Schechtl product line. The Schechtl 10-foot folder shears is really that industry standard in premier folding and shearing that has really, again, kind of changed what that industry looks like going back to that 1998. So the history. Those of you who may be watching this that have an old Schechtl shear, looks a lot like this new Schechtl shear. There's a reason for that. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So using that technology and the more than 100 years of experience that Schechtl has. So this is 10-foot 16 gauge. Again, this can be up to 13 feet in length and up to 11 gauge in capacity. So again, multiple options to meet your needs, multiple options of feature sets on a shear. I'm going to move right over here to the folder, but I'm going to stay kind of in the middle. One of the key components that I don't think that Schechtl gets enough recognition for is their ability to listen to what the market is asking for, and in some cases, what metal forming is asking for. If you've been around Mr. Jeff Stone, sometimes he doesn't ask real nicely, but there's a reason for that. So, where am I going with this? Schechtl, all Schechtl powered equipment, folders and shears, are complete with UL certified electrical components and cabinetry. Nice. All of the powered Schechtl products, UL listed componentry and cabinet. Why is that important to you? You're protected. Your investment is protected. So, very quickly now, getting to that mainstay, that main product of metal forming has been the Schechtl 10-foot folder, 10-foot 16 gauge. This model is the newest platform, which came out about 2 years ago. This model incorporates the F geometry, the common Schechtl clamping beam, 20-degree nose bar on the tooling. All of these things have not really changed over those years because Schechtl's knowledge in the industry of making architectural equipment. Here on display is the Schechtl control with, and the screen that I've got it in, Heidi, is really showing off the technology and the power behind this system. So going back to the original days, we just had a profile shape that we could see. Well, now I can draw it on the screen. I can set any dimensions that I want, and then I can watch it being made, and I have different views. I can even look at that finished part and spin it around to make sure this is exactly what I want. You know, in going back some years, I had to have knowledge as to what is a drip edge part. What does that thing look like? I can even see in 3D the actual machine, and this all moves live. So we'll be able to demonstrate that in some later videos as well.
That is so cool.
Really excited. One more quick piece, and I don't think that we've touched on it barely at all. Any of these automated solutions, any of this fully graphic programming, you must talk about software-driven solutions. We haven't spent really any time because here at Metal Forming we do sell equipment, but we do offer Bendex software. And at some point in time we have to maybe do another segment about Bendex. I'm thinking
we may do another one on Bendex.
I think we're going to have to.
And you will be able to find information on Bendex on our directories. We're going to move over this way just because we got to make sure we get everybody.
David just wants to
bring us
talk
home,
again.
David.
I'm shaking my head to the Bendex thing because that today is one of the most important parts of driving these machines.
Shame on us. Shame on us.
So any of these are directly interfaceable with Bendex. It's really a wonderful and incredible thing.
This is a pretty amazing looking machine here.
It's an amazing looking machine. So this is the big brother to the little power bend multi that you saw earlier. 11 gauge by 10 foot. This bends up and down. And this has become very popular with the exterior wall panel manufacturers that want to get into that high customization of making wall panels, right? As you saw earlier, making watertight wall panels. We do very, very easily, along with bump forming column covers and a number of different things. So as these architects keep coming out with these fancier and fancier and fancier and harder things to make, this is the type of technology that companies have to bring in to be able to make those types of profiles. And what was interesting was when Kurt was bump forming the column cover, there was 65 bends on it. He touched the part twice.
We saw that, and we will have video on that you'll be able to find because it was pretty amazing. We didn't run them today just because of the noise levels, but and actually this wasn't very noisy at all. But we do have it on video. And we do have it on video. So, gentlemen, let's gather over here real quick.
On your way back over.
Now this is the coolest little folder.
On your way back over.
Okay, we need to stop right here.
We don't want to forget.
We don't want to
forget about the Schechtl UKV. And not just the Schechtl UKV, we do offer and also have in our house of cards, if you will, a lot of manually operated machines, so that not everything can be solved. Not everybody has the right pocketbook, right, for all this automation that we like to talk about. We do still have manual machines. This is the great UKV box and pan brake. Can be opened and closed with your foot pedal, all segmented tooling. Come talk to us. We have solutions.
This is really impressive. So, Steve, there's some people out there who I'm thinking are going, I need my own sheet metal shop. Or maybe I need to expand my sheet metal shop. What's some of your advice for contractors and for manufacturers, sheet metal shops across the board who are looking for to grow, to start a sheet metal shop?
Yeah, first and foremost, I say come see us, or at minimum, come talk to us. We are, one partner for your needs. We offer, as you heard, a high level of expertise in the space, and I always enjoy those discussions when someone comes in, tells us about their business, and Chad is excellent at this. Ask them the question, what are you doing today? What do you want to do 5 years from now? And guess what? It's not always the most expensive solution that they offer. If it's the right solution, he's going to present it to you and put it with the right product together that's going to meet your needs. Again, not for today, but from 5 years from now, depending on what those specific needs are.
They need to do. Martin, your advice to folks out there who are looking to
echo that, like one partner, trusted expert, come to us, feed off our experience, talk to people like Chad, talk to our very experienced field technicians.
Build a relationship.
Build a relationship. It all starts here.
I like it. Goals, relationships. Okay, gentlemen, you have mics, so I won't hold this over in front of you. But
I think one of the biggest things that people oftentimes overlook is getting very, very engaged with us on the service and support. If you're starting a sheet metal shop, you've never maintained any of this. Don't do it alone, right? We're there. Martin's built an incredible team. We are there to support you, to help you, to work with you, putting together the service level agreements, coming out and PMing your machines. It's the biggest investment you will make if you're getting into this type of a industry. Take care of it. Let us help you take care of it. Let us train you to take care of it.
That's great. Chad, bring us home.
All right, so there's a lot of equipment out there that can help your business. There's a lot of hardware, there's a lot of different software. How do you choose the right one? That can really be that difficult piece. Really, all I can say is find a partner that you can do business with. There's plenty of pieces of equipment in the market space, but find that partner that you're comfortable with, and you can shake hands and walk away and know that I've got the best solution for my needs right now today.
Yeah.
So that's one partner. Right? We want to be your partner. You can buy machinery from lots of people. Heidi, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. I told you earlier, you said real quick.
Yeah, no, real quick.
I can't do real quick.
Before we go, the one thing I do have to say is I'm hoping we've whetted everybody's appetite out there, but we have something really special coming up at the end of October, and that is MetalCon. And we will be there with a live sound stage. We're going to be broadcasting from there, but you all are going to have a very exciting booth with some exciting promotions. So, Steve, why don't you just a little bit about MetalCon?
Yeah, we're really excited to have MetalCon in Atlanta this year. Close to home. Virtually everything you've seen today will be in our booth, represented by our team at all levels. And so come on by, come see us, start that dialogue, build that rapport. We are confident that we can show you what you need for your business.
It's really good. And there's a little bit of a contest. So you have, what, 6 weeks to work on this,
Yes.
David? What should they be doing in these next 6 weeks?
So one of the most enjoyable parts we have during these shows is when customers come up typically with a piece of paper and something sketched out on it and say, can you make this? Bring us those sketches, right? We have yet to be stumped on the Power Bend Multi.
Okay.
And we have had, frankly, sometimes during the end of the shows, more of our competitors in our booth trying to figure out how we did stuff than customers during closing bells. So bring us your profiles. Let us have a shot at showing you how this Power Bend Multi can make those parts. If you stump us, you get a very cool little orange Yeti mug, right, that you can take home with pride saying you've got a profile that no one can make, so then go back to the architecture that designed it and tell them to change the plans. right? But until then, give us a shot. I think you'll be amazed at what we can do, and we'll have a little fun doing it.
I have to tell you, there's a lot of really amazing contractors out there who I'm sure are going to be at MetalCon and are going to be ready for this challenge.
Beautiful.
So,
perfect.
I want to thank you again. Thank you. Thank you
very much.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi.
It was so great.
Thank you all for watching.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for watching. This is Metal Talk Live. Hey, we're going to keep coming live from not only today in MetalForming in Peachtree City, Georgia, but we're going to also be live at Western Roofing Expo at the end of the month, and then live at MetalCon at the end of October. Please check out the MetalForming directory. It has all this information, and watch over the next couple months, because we're going to be bringing you all kinds of great videos and experiences from our live trip here. We'll be seeing you next month for Metal Talk.